the impressive data which has been shared by you as an author in Nature and Dr. Avni Krishnan just before me was not surprising to me. It's so obvious that this flower will perform beautifully. It seems like nature's gift for diabetics, because today we are managing diabetes not on the basis of carbohydrates alone. We are not managing diabetes on just calories alone. We are managing diabetes as an inflammatory disease. And we are talking about anti-inflammatory diet, which is low glycemic and high in fiber. We are not managing diabetes in the conventional way. We said low fat, high carbohydrate, high fiber diet. It's not any of that anymore. And in my clinical practice, I see this almost a reversal of early onset diabetes with just initiating anti-inflammatory diet. And to be very specific today, when I say that, we find that one of the most pro-inflammatory proteins in our diet is wheat protein, which is gluten. And the second one, thanks to wheat protein causing a leaky gut, is casein, which is the milk protein. And when you take away these two, highly pro-inflammatory proteins from an individual's diet, you are lowering the inflammation almost instantly. And we see radical drops in blood sugars. And but that's not it. Elimination is not going to just do that. We need alternatives. We need, when you take away gluten, you're taking away the basic staple of an individual, and that's not fair. And when I put in rice, it has its own issues. It is high glycemic and it is high in carbohydrate. And so when you have an alternative, which is not only an alternative because it doesn't have gluten, but it's highly anti-inflammatory thanks to its phytochemicals, the flavonoids, the anthocyanidins, the tannins, there are so many other what we call phytonutrients loaded in this fruit, even carotenoids. These provide a very high value to this alternative. And secondly, it's very high, the fiber that you've been talking about. It's very, wheat, 100 grams of wheat will have about 2.7%, and this is an impressive 11%. And this is not only the percentage, it's like you said, a very good combination of soluble and insoluble fiber, both of which have hypoglycemic and hypocholesteremic effects. Having said that, the soluble fiber is also today, we know, is extremely useful as a prebiotic. It's also we are talking about healing the gut. We're talking about elimination and having an anti-inflammatory effect on the gut, which will have a cascading effect for reducing inflammation all over the body. Now, we also need to modulate the gut flora. All of this is being modulated by the various good microbiota which is residing in our gut. So this soluble fiber works as a prebiotic, and also the carbohydrate, which is the starch, is what we call resistant starch, and again which works like a prebiotic. So you can see the reason why you are getting these impressive results in the studies that you are doing on management of diabetes. And let me tell you that this is only one small part of what jackfruit flour can do as an alternative flour to wheat and rice. You will be able to intervene and manage diseases, virtually every chronic disease that we are talking about, whether it is digestive disorders, whether it is cardiovascular disease, hypertension, cancer, autoimmunity, because when a food is impacting the gut favorably, it is providing fuel for the gut flora. It has a hypoglycemic and hypocholesteremic effect. It is providing bulk. It is also going to be high on satiety. So even obesity management is huge, and you know the burden of obesity today. So by virtue of all these, virtual these the goodness of this vegetable, you will be able to really provide the world with a very, very impressive alternative to wheat and rice. And I, as a practitioner, have used it in my practice, even at home, and with favorable, very, very good results. At home, I can tell you that the children love the chapatis, and the ghee added to it lowers the glycemic index even further. And, like you said, it needs to be incorporated into familiar foods, which include porridge, which include breakfast cereals of other kinds, or rotis, or idlis, or pancakes, or whatever you have. Even bakery products, I would say. There is a huge potential that you have, unraveled through your chance project which has happened. And I think I'm not going to give you data. You have all the data with you, and all the listeners would be, would have access to it. But all I'd like to say is, in a nutshell, that this food has needs to be researched further, to be introduced by the food industry and at the individual household levels, and made a part of healthy alternatives to wheat and rice. One of the biggest challenges for me as a practitioner is roti. Roti kaise, roti nahi khayenge to kya khayenge? And and then when you say rice ki roti kha lo, so we know that there are problems with rice ki roti. And here is such an impressive percentage of fiber, and both the soluble and insoluble fiber. The mucilaginous aspect of it is one of the USPs of the health benefit. And also not only health benefit, but also, like you said, in its usage in culinary practice, how it lends itself to binding. And one of the things which gluten is all about is binding. So, when you take away gluten, it's difficult to work with the flour, especially with rice, because it doesn't have that binding capacity. And here is a product which is, which is so rich in pectin. When I also started a health food company way back in 2001, and we were making a lot of products which were gluten-free, and we were adding pectin to improve the binding. So here you have natural pectin, and so it lends itself to great products in the kitchen. And so I'm going to leave my session only saying that I really wish you all the best, and I hope we are able to bring this product to becoming mainstream rather than alternative.